Can y'all hear us?
Now they can hear us. Now they can hear us. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I am so sorry.
There we go.
I am so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. I am so sorry. So sorry. Cord came out when I was hooking up the new people. So it was all on me, but we are. I know y'all can hear me now. Sound is up and running. So we're here. Okay. Technical difficulties.
Let me text everybody and tell them they logged off.
So let's start back over again. So here we go.
Goodness.
This is the Three Clarks podcast. I am your host, Dwayne.
I'm Shantae.
And we are the Three Clarks. We appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with us today. Jeffrey's out today, so we have our special guest, Mr. Dante, co-host Dante. Wave to the camera. Tell everybody what's up.
What up, y'all?
Dante's in.
Jeff. I'm substitute Jeff.
Substitute Jeff. And also, if you can see sitting next to Shantae, we have our special guest, Mr. Richard Wright, sitting in. We're going to be interviewing him today, talking about his run for the mayor of Atlanta. He's running for the mayor of Atlanta, so he's a candidate. So we're going to do our usual show as it goes. We're going to talk about, you know what's going on in the world. And then we're going to get to Mr. Wright and talk about everything he has and what he's doing to make Atlanta a better city. So when he's running. Amen. So once again, Shantae. How you doing?
Dwayne.
How you doing today, Shantae? Ladies first. How you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm doing amazing. We've been doing some spring cleaning around the house and trying to get our stuff in order and intact. We went over to IKEA today, Dwayne and I, to look at some couches for our new facility that we're opening up starting sometime around February or March.
Did they give you fried chicken and watermelon when you did?
They definitely did not give me fried chicken and watermelon. However, I did have chicken and waffles this morning at the Red Mule. So that was amazing. So that's what I got going on.
That's what you got going. Mr. Dante, our resident fact checker and our studious in the, they say you look studious in the studio. What you got going on today, Dante?
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
What's going on with you, Mr. Dante?
So, most recent news. I'm now the committee chair for the community development arm for Austell Community Task Force. So for the last few weeks, I've been working on building out that particular committee, having a few meetings with some people that we're going to build some alliances and allegiances with that's going to help us to push change, growth, and development for the city of Austell. So that's the major thing that's taking place right now. It's not tiring yet, but it's a labor of love. So we're getting there. So.
And I'll make sure I continue to keep my comments to you as vividly as possible.
Okay.
Gosh. I can't.
I'll make sure that my opinion is known as much as possible.
My God.
So folks, our show is going to be a little bit different today. We're gonna talk about some of the topics we usually talk about just for the first 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna go into talking with Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright and what he's got going on. We're gonna let you find out about who he is, what he's got going on, how he's doing. So for all who haven't heard, Joe Biden came out with a new federal mandatory that if you have over 100 employees, that they need to be 100 employees, they need to be either vaccinated or tested daily.
Oh, it's daily.
No.
Let's just call it
if they're unvaccinated.
If they're unvaccinated, they need to be tested daily, or they must get a vaccination. So what is this? What do y'all think is going to happen now with all these companies and people and them talking about this vaccination? And it's coming because people knew it was coming. But what do you think is going to happen? People, y'all talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
So, I mean, the liberty of freedom. I mean, they're going to be saying that this is unconstitutional.
They can try, but when it comes to private industry or private companies, it's no different from instituting a dress code at a company. You can't go in there, let's say, for example, wearing a halter top. They're going to tell you, hey, you need to go home and fix that. So whatever their policy is, then you always have a choice.
Now, typically, the policy, when you get the policy, when you first start working there, you have to sign the policy.
Mhm.
So when I first originally started working at this company, that was not a mandate that I did not sign off
Doesn't
on.
matter.
Yeah.
In the company in most of them, they will tell you.
Well, they'll make you
They-
re-sign the handbook and then mandate
It can be amended at any time they so choose.
But they have to share it, and you have to acknowledge it.
Well, and I think the attitude is different since we're still in the throes of a global pandemic. So this is not necessarily something that they want to do just because it makes them feel good. This is a matter of public safety and public health. So we've already seen companies that took the initiative to do it, like Delta. They're like, yeah, you want to come here, you want to work. This is what you have to do.
There's other companies like that I am familiar with.
Well, I just heard something about, I think it was ESPN, Disney's
Fox.
Disney's corporate Disney, the parent company of ESPN said there was a reporter that said she's trying to have a second baby, so she's not going to get the vaccine. But there's no reports that you can't have a baby without the vaccine. So she said, so they're saying, well, you can't work any football games, any sideline games for us if you're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So they're gonna implement that on all employees. Yeah. If you're not vaccinated, you cannot work any football games or any football games for us on the sideline. Yeah. Period. Point blank.
You have right-wing media stations such as Fox, while you have their commentators on air spewing disinformation, all of them are vaccinated.
Exactly.
This is not new. Well, let me say that it's new to us, but a vaccine mandate at private companies, this has already been happening. Now it's public. And for federal contractors, federal workers, it's all, we knew this was going to happen because we tried it. I think at this point in this country, we tried it to where it's like, okay, you make the right decision. Half the country made a decision that was geared towards protecting the other half or protecting their neighbor. Mm-hmm. Everybody else said, nah, I'm good. God got me. Okay. This is where we are. So now it's like, this is what has to be done in the interest of public health, because we're not going to be done with this anytime soon.
Yeah. Once you had my name is Richard Wright, everyone. And I'm running for mayor of Atlanta. Just for the time, just a little bit.
Come on.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I think that once the FDA approved the vaccine, then it was going to be mandatory. When I'm talking to people, I ask them just a simple question: how many vaccines do you already have?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They got about 3 or 4 of them already.
You already have 3 to 4. Is the 5th one going to kill you? So it's just something that a lot of disinformation goes on because things in this country turn hyper political. In the last administration had a lot to do with that. Is that it's kind of like us versus them almost. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to health and when it comes to just protecting your fellow neighbor, you should just get vaccinated. I think that's the route that all of us should choose. And if we had got vaccinated a lot earlier, the Delta variant wouldn't be as strong as it is now, because the virus needs a body to jump to.
Right.
But it's funny because I was listening to a radio show today and they were talking about Howard Stern just went off on a lot of right-wing radio personalities talking about anti-vax. I'm not getting the vaccine. All those people that he talked about died from the vaccine, died from COVID.
Yeah.
So they're talking about, I'm not getting, God's got me, I'm good. It's fake. And they died from it. And then I hear the stories on the news about nurses talking about people they about to be intubated, talking about, okay, I changed my mind. Go ahead, give me the vaccine now. When you about to get intubated, you're done. It's over with. Don't right. The vaccine is to prevent it from killing you,
right?
Not prevent you from getting. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. The vaccine is not prevent you from getting it. It's preventing you from dying from it
and having severe symptoms.
And these people, you got to realize that they're all harped on. Well, no, I can't have kids. It's going to make you infertile. It's going to make you do this. It's going to make you. I was like, where does your science come from? Facebook,
right?
Even though we're on Facebook right now, it's like, where does your science go? Do you do your research?
The amount of disinformation is scary. Mm-hmm. It really is scary. It's with the advent of social media and YouTube, you could just go up here and just say something and direct it towards a group of people, and some people just believe that's gospel. It is sad.
Yeah. So Kim
Kim from Carolina. Go ahead, Kim. What's going on?
She says, don't forget 7th and 12th graders have state mandate immunizations for school, and they got to get them in the first 30 days. So
you got to get immunization before you get to school. Period. Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
I mean, it's again, there's a reason why we don't have smallpox anymore.
Right.
Yes.
There's a reason why we don't have the yellow fever, measles. I mean, it's a variety of viruses that we no longer are plagued by because we have vaccinations. So
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's that. So all right, people, we talked that subject. Now y'all know what's going on. It's the season has started. Football season is here.
Lord,
My Falcons start playing on Sunday.
That means
So I'm football season. So you get ready. Shantae, what you ready for? What's going to happen in the house?
What's going to happen is either Dwayne is going to be happy or Dwayne is going to be pissed off.
All day long is going to be mine.
He is so incredibly emotional. That baby love him some Falcons.
And I say cancel anything that's going on Sunday or Monday night. You know, sometimes Thursdays when I'll be watching the show where I'm here, but just cancel it. Don't invite me. Don't call me. Just say, hey, Dwayne, what you mean what I'm doing?
Like we know the schedule.
Like, okay, you know what I'm doing.
No,
leave me alone.
Look, we don't know what you're doing.
Leave me alone.
So let's see if they make it through the season.
Oh,
there you go.
They're gonna make it through the season. Is what the record gonna be.
No. Wait. I'm not talking about the Falcons per se. I'm just talking about the
NFL. Yeah, you did say that to me at a personal conversation. What's gonna happen? So going back with vaccines and the NFL, most of the stadiums now are allowing full capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They're not requiring masks or vaccines or COVID tests, but some stadiums are being cautious. No, I'm sorry. What you call stadium? Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they are.
Las Vegas Raiders is not allowing anybody into the stadium without a COVID test or a vaccine card.
Right.
But most other stadiums are not like that. So
now, let's see if that stadium fills up.
Well,
since people are so against getting vaccinated and having a vaccine card and vaccine passports, let's see if that stadium.
It's different stadiums, different areas, so it's just how it's gonna go, you know, because it's gonna be interesting.
With about 60,000 people out of how many people in Vegas? So there's 60,000 people in Vegas who have the vaccination, so they'll be at the game.
Okay.
Not to mention college football on Saturdays.
Yeah,
those are super spreader events.
So, so we're gonna talk about one more thing before we get to Mr. Wright. We're gonna talk about what's going on in Texas.
Oh, yes.
You know,
I thought we were gonna talk about what was going on at Lennox.
Okay, we're gonna talk about two more things.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
So Texas has just passed the most restrictive abortion rights law ever in history, about 6 weeks.
Yes, crazy, man.
So that women can't get abortions. And then the governor made the most.
So come back and tell them what they mandated.
Okay, they mandated that anything after 6 weeks, you can't get abortion after 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the governor had the most idiotic statement ever in history.
And that was?
Reporter asked him, what about people that are victims of rape and incest?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to eliminate all rape in Texas.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
The governor said he's about to eliminate. We're going to have so many strict laws that there's not going to be any rape in Texas, so we don't have to worry about that.
So they must gonna have some mind control while they at it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the most idiotic thing.
He said that out loud?
Yes, he said that in the press conference. In the press conference.
So I'm trying. So
the press conference of the signing, he said we're eliminating rape in our state, so they don't have to worry about that.
So there's no laws on the books against rape.
There's no laws. There's no laws. They didn't do no restrictive laws or anything like that. But they said he's going to restrict.
What I'm saying. So there's no laws on the books currently.
New laws
prior to this being signed. There's no laws that says rape is illegal. So,
rape is illegal. We know rape is illegal.
Oh, okay. So
we know that rape is illegal.
So there's laws against rape now, but he's going to institute some new laws.
No, he didn't even say that. He just said we're going to eliminate it. He didn't even say there's going to be new laws against rape. He just said we're going to eliminate rape.
Did he say how he's going to eliminate it?
No.
Okay.
Of course he did.
Okay.
Why would he have done that?
Okay.
The most idiotic thing I've seen ever.
Right. Please don't become a politician like that.
That's Greg Abbott.
That's Greg Abbott.
That's
Greg
Greg
Abbott. So that's that. So we're gonna say that we're gonna move on to our city of Atlanta, Georgia. So new report just came in. Lenox Mall, which if y'all don't know, like Kim, all y'all people that don't live in Atlanta, Lenox Mall located in borough or what is it?
Buckhead.
Buckhead is what is it? Buckhead is not city.
It's a suburb.
It's a suburb of.
Please don't say it's a city.
Okay. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So Buckhead is a suburb of the city of Atlanta, which we're gonna talk about. With and there's a mall, very affluent mall, has nice stores in it, but we in the last couple of years has a very big uptick of violence and crime. Mm-hmm. So the mall and Simon Properties said they have a new curfew after 3 p.m. Anybody under the age of 18 has to be accompanied by an adult over 21.
A private company is what?
Well, my question is, are they
isn't that unconstitutional? No.
Oh, what? Have they go into vaccine?
Oh.
So I'm assuming that they're going to pay for the police.
The extra police, they're already paying for extra police and security. Even the community, I heard, is paying for extra security police for the mall.
So they're gonna walk around and be like, "Hey, you look like you're under 18."
But what are they gonna do about the teenagers that work there?
They're going to ask you for your ID. Let me see your ID.
Okay.
And then it's gonna get worse.
So this is like a way to just search me for no reason.
No, they're gonna ask.
You're gonna be like, "Hey, you look like you under 18." They're gonna
ask me, "Are you under 18?" No, pimping.
Well, let me see your ID. Nah, you ain't need to see my ID, man. I'm 50.
Let me see your ID. And if you are under 18, where's your parent? Where's your guardian?
Well, please, I need to escort you outside the mall. But they're gonna have to get real security now, because I'm saying they have, the incident what happened to the security guard. He was trying to just talk to the people, and you saw it on video, and they shot him. He didn't have a gun. He was just trying to talk. He just calm down. Mm-hmm. You know what's going on. What are you doing? Right. And they shot him. So it's like they got to get armed security now. So it's like,
first of all, LaShawn said they're gonna be IDing black people all day,
and and they think that's gonna be a part of racial profiling at the mall.
It definitely is.
It's gonna be an ideal profiling. So it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be issues.
I'm gonna be walking through the mall. And they're gonna be like, "Ma'am,
you don't look like you're 16 now. You're under 18. You don't look under 18.
Hey,
you don't look under 18. I'm sorry.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you have an establishment in a well-to-do and an affluent neighborhood or community, and they get fed up with the increase in crime.
And with that being said, we're going to segue. Sorry, we had to segue that into you, but I want to introduce everybody into our current guest, Mr. Richard Wright. He's one of the candidates for mayor, one of mayoral candidates for Atlanta. Goes to our church. This is how we know this gentleman. So we wanted to bring him on the show and speak his piece. And for everybody to know, anybody any other candidates that would like to come on the show and speak their piece, we welcome you. But this gentleman wants to come on and speak his piece and tell what's going on. So first of all, Mr. Wright, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and who you are.
Yes, my name is Richard Wright, and I am running to be mayor of Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 1997 from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, with a GED and dreams of being a rapper.
Okay.
Yes.
Atlanta dreams.
Atlanta dreams. Big Atlanta dreams.
As you can see, no one signed me. I'm still mad about that. They signed everybody. They would sign the people, but nobody signed me. So my mother's counted on me and said, "Richie, you need to go to school. You need to go to college." I said, "Well, I didn't do good at high school. How am I going to do good at college?"
Right.
All right. That's a step up, Mom. And she said, "No, you need to go ahead and get your education." So I enrolled in a small school called Herzing College one day. Just tried it out. And ended up staying and getting my 4-year degree.
Nice.
Ended up going to Stray University to get a MBA.
Okay.
Went on to sit for the CPA exam and pass it, and end up at Georgetown Law School.
Nice.
So
he got qualifications, people.
Dreams are made of, ain't it?
I know. I just know a little something. I've been blessed really along the way.
He worked for it.
Definitely. definitely was divine intervention because when I moved out here, like I said, I wanted to be a rapper. I thought that was all that I was ever going to be. So just living in Atlanta since '97 and kind of seeing the way the city has progressed and not progressed, it really made me look at running for office because I'm at the end of the day, I still am a frustrated citizen, and I want things to move forward and to change and improve for everybody in Atlanta, but in particularly African Americans in Atlanta. Okay. And so I believe that I have the necessary skill set, and the number one thing, you just have to care. At some point, you have to see that people are suffering and seeing issues are happening, and you have to care. And so that's what I do. I care about the city of Atlanta. I want to make it better, and I want to be the city's mayor.
Wonderful. So we have a few questions for you. I'm the host, but I have my cerebral team here that they got the glasses on. See, I don't have the glasses on. They both got the glasses on. So they're my cerebral team. So I'm gonna interject. I'm Wonder Woman. So we're gonna let them talk to Mr. Wright about some of the plans and we have some questions. And if you have some questions out there, let us know. Put them in the comments, and we'll go ahead and ask if we don't. But always ladies first. So Shantae, go ahead and ask Mr. Wright what you want to ask him.
Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it.
Yep.
As my viewers know, I'm like straight no chaser, hold no punches back.
All right,
so we're gonna start with the job market. Okay, right now we've got a lot of large companies here in Atlanta. What are you gonna do as mayor to continue to attract those large companies to provide those high-paying jobs for affluent Black people?
I'll say this, give you a piece of knowledge, or I even ask you a question. I'll just put it as a statement. Atlanta ranks in the country has the second highest concentration of African Americans with 40 degrees or higher. So I tell people all the time, the talent is here. It's just it's up to the mayor to really attract the companies here.
Right.
And being a CPA and being someone who's worked in corporate America for 15 years, I understand, how corporate America thinks and how when they evaluate a city to move to, talent is number one that they look at. The transportation is another, and how the city's functioning, the government functions is usually a third. And so we have the talent, especially minority, in particular African American talent here to bring businesses here. Microsoft is coming here. I made the point at one of the town halls we was at, and for a committee, actually the committee of Better Atlanta, that I was going to bring an additional 4 Fortune 1000 companies to Atlanta. We have 30 here right now as we speak. We're third in the country in the number of Fortune 1000 companies that we have here in Atlanta. And I said that, hey, I believe that under my leadership that we can add another 4, and I'm going to be dedicated to bringing 4 Fortune 1000 companies here to Atlanta.
Okay, Dante, what you got for the gentleman, sir?
So you're talking about bringing companies, like Fortune 1000 companies, to the city. And a lot of times what happens when you bring those kinds of companies here is you have people that migrate to the city or migrate to the state. And a lot of times what also happens is you start to see housing prices go up. So we already know that affordable housing is an issue in the city of Atlanta. So what would be your plan to stop or stem gentrification? Because we know that is a byproduct of when you bring in the Microsofts, the NCRs, and so on and so forth. What's your plan to stem gentrification and make it so that way people who may not be the most affluent can still enjoy the fruits of their labor and still enjoy the city?
I think it's a two-pronged issue that we must address. Gentrification is happening, and so how do you mitigate that? What you look to do is you really talk to developers that are looking at high density properties. And this really starts at the district level. what's happening in Atlanta is that the power is at the executive branch. And so pretty much the mayor makes all the decisions, right? And so at the district level, the district knows more about its particular district, the MPU managers, the MPU presidents know more about the districts. And so in certain districts, we need to really look at how can we have affordable housing. Do we need to talk to developers about set aside a certain number of units for individuals who make, for instance, 80% of the AMI. That's the average median income. Mm-hmm. Let's set aside 10% of the units. And the way to really do that is to give hand ups, because the other flip side to it is that there are individuals who are coming to Atlanta who are highly educated, but the legacy citizens, a lot of them don't have 4-year degrees. We need to really institute training programs. So we could do both. We could say that we're going to set aside 10% of in high density, and that's any structure that's 10 or more, right? We're going to set aside 10% for college students and or individuals who are in a trade program that are really looking to advance themselves, because it's not looked at as a handout, it's looked at as a hand up.
Right.
And people don't mind doing hand ups. And so that then leads to, well, Richard, how are you going to get these programs up and running? There was Atlanta Workforce just lost a $4 million grant. And it's all in the papers, and people really didn't pay enough attention to it. The Atlanta Workforce applied and received a grant to train 450 low-income citizens on technology and high-tech jobs, and then they were supposed to get them jobs. How many people would you guess that they trained and then got hired?
Out of how many?
Out of 450.
Probably none, because if they lost a grant.
Right.
They trained 9.
Wow.
And so, yes, you can Google this. AJC ran an article about it. So the federal government came in and did an audit and found this, right? And so we as a people know what was going on, right?
We as a people, the high prices just to be in the program.
Yeah, they were paying the staff
more money,
outrageous amounts of money. There was $333,000 in expenses that were miscategorized, not approved, right? So the federal government came back and did what? They took the grant back. One of the things that I'm going to do as mayor is go back to DC. I'm going to lay my CPA license on the table, and then we're going to have a talk about, let's get that $4 million grant back. So once we get that $4 million grant back, because think about it, 450 people, right? Those 450 people, guess what they have? They have spouses.
Yeah.
They have kids.
Yeah.
They have family members. You were taking probably about 1,500 people out of generational poverty.
Oh.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. But more than likely, right? Because these were tech jobs. So some of those 450 people could go to what? Microsoft is bringing an office here. The mayor could have talked to Microsoft and say, listen, I'm training individuals.
450
of them, right?
You can take 100 of them.
You
can take 50 of them.
Right? For a $100,000 job. That's what the job's paying. We're talking about AI, and we're talking about cloud computing.
Coding.
Yep. And we're talking about other technologies that pay very well. So I hate to be long-winded on it, but I'm passionate about it.
Okay.
Because things connect together, right? All this connects together. If you have more individuals who have skill sets to make the money, they'll be able to afford the housing.
Right. Okay. I agree. All right.
All right, Shantae, you up. What you got? What you got?
So talking about money and budgets and everything. So we know that right now Buckhead is really trying to move to become its own city.
Yep.
As we know, Buckhead is one of the most affluential, expensive areas to live in. So the property taxes are extremely expensive. Okay. So if they succeed in becoming a city that creates a deficit in our budget in terms of money that's coming into Atlanta, how, if that does happen and it succeeds, what do you think that you will be able to do to make sure that there's not a huge deficit in the Atlanta budget?
I think that I'm the perfect person for the time right now when it comes to the Buckhead situation. Buckhead is really looking at the way that the city of Atlanta has notoriously mismanaged money. We have a project, and Midtown Alliance wrote about this. They wrote a letter to Mayor Bottoms about this. There's an $8.7 million project that's supposed to connect 14th Street and Jupiter Street, bike lanes and everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's been going on for a while now, I think almost 10 years now, and it still hasn't been completed, right? And so
they couldn't complete this during COVID, during the lockdown.
No, this was 10 years ago, all right? So it's a 10-year project, right? And so they get to a point where they're going to lose some grant money from the federal government. So this is another case of us losing grant money from the federal government. Those things just pile up. And so Buckhead is looking at, wow, the city is being financially mismanaged to a degree where we're not comfortable with it. And then if you couple that with the crime that's going on, we want to definitely have more say-so in how the city is ran. Well, entering a young CPA with the financial skill set and the years of experience in analyzing budgets to come in and really look at the way that the city is financially ran. And that won't just be by myself. I plan on bringing in Big Four, a CPA, Big Four partners to help me turn around the city and make it more. People say, you work at corporate America, certain things that corporate America does well, right? And we need more transparency and we need more communication. And so transparency would be, we need to do a quarterly, and everybody what the corporate America knows, and what a 10Q is, and what a 10K is, right?
Right?
Why can't the city do it? Why can't we, as the city, report to you, the constituent, the stakeholder, every quarter, right? Politicians are just like TV channels that you have to watch for 4 years. Like you just want to get the remote control and change it, but you're stuck with it for 4 years.
Right.
And usually around 3.5 years, the programs improve because they want you to subscribe for another 4 years. That's politics, and in a nutshell there. You're stuck with the station. So I don't want to have any constituency from Buckhead to Bankhead ever think that they are stuck with me in that situation. I want to report to you, the business owner. I'll report to you, the citizen, the stakeholder. How am I doing as a mayor quarterly? You need to grade me because I need to be graded. I need to be let know from each district, how am I as a mayor for your district? And then for the city as a whole, quarterly, I'm going to issue out a quarterly report card for you to grade me as mayor. And so you're going to grade me so I can get on my administration about how we're handling things. And so once you have that type of transparency, people will feel comfortable with you. Buckhead will feel more comfortable. They will get a quarterly report. They can say, Richard, listen, this project over here isn't doing well, right? This project here isn't doing well. You need to fix it. The same way in Bankhead, right? Richard, hey, what is the number in first quarter when you first came in here? There was 5 African Americans on Simpson Road who had businesses, right? In Q4, there's still 5. Why are we not growing, Richard? You need to be able to say that to me. And that's what I believe is the difference between me and my, other candidates, is that I'm willing to be transparent. I'm willing to put myself on the line because this is going to be a good report card. It's going to be public. Okay. And AJC is going to be all over it. All media is going to be all over it.
Right.
So if Richard fails, guess what? He's going to be the failing mayor. But we're not going to fail.
Okay.
So what do you say about prior candidates who are prior mayors who are now candidates and their success in balancing the budget and having a surplus in the budget? Because in other candidates' speeches in previous administrations, that is one of their focal points that they like to bring to the forefront often, that they made a surplus.
I think that I tell people this. I give the analogy. I give a lot of analogies, right? Okay, when Trae Young got signed by the Hawks, right, was one of the questions that the Hawks asked him, how many NBA games have you won? Right,
No.
they didn't ask him that, right? Because he hadn't played any NBA games,
Right.
All right, and so that's what I say to people. Say that you don't have the experience. Well, nobody has the experience of being mayor in 2022, right? Because things change, times change, right? We're in a different environment. This is COVID now, right? We have a whole new presidential administration. We have COVID, who's came a once in a lifetime pandemic that's came through, right? So the times are changed. So what you would do in 2017 or what you did in 17, 16, 15, 2004 is irrelevant now, because 2022 will be different than 2021. 2023 would be different than 2024. And so when Trae Young signed a new deal with the Hawks, you think they asked him about a game in 2018? They don't care about what happened in 2018. Trae Young, what are you going to do for me today? Because this season is different.
That's an answer.
Not just today. What
Not
are you doing
doing tomorrow?
Exactly.
Because yesterday is gone.
Tomorrow, because that's
How
what I'm
many
paying you
points you
for.
gonna score tomorrow?
I'm not paying you $1 to what you did yesterday. Right.
I'm playing for what you Right, all right. That's what I like them. Go ahead, Dante. What you got for the man?
So I want to pivot. So this past, what was it, 2020, this past summer, we saw the greatest global demonstration that anybody's ever seen. And that came on after the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the names go on and on and on. And we know that police brutality, police conduct, or misconduct is a major hot button issue. So as mayor, what would, let me ask you this question. Will you work to strip some of the power away from the police unions that allow them to essentially commit crimes and escape punishment? Because right now they have qualified immunity where they can, it's just basically their shield. Yep. And there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, we need to do away with qualified immunity because they get to these grand juries and so on and so forth. And then, hey, nobody arrested the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. So I think what the community or communities, what they want to see is somebody to come in and say, hey, that's not right. We're going to have to reimagine what these police union contracts look like. So that way everybody can be held accountable, whether you wear blue or whether you wear a badge or you don't. Everybody has to abide by the same laws. So as mayor, how would you work to create that environment?
I think that as mayor, I will be in charge of APD, right? That's the police department that I'll be in charge of. So I plan on making that one the best in the nation, right? We can be a model for other police departments. We have a very diverse community, right? I know statistically that we're very diverse. We have similar issues to other big cities. I tell people that systemic crime is a product of systemic poverty. So we have an opportunity to really put a model forth that really addresses the complaints that the citizens have. And they not only have it in Atlanta, they have it in LA, New York, all big cities, is that it seems like the cops get away with too much. They're not held accountable. And so transparency is always going to be an issue, right? Until you're transparent, all right? And so the move that I'm looking to make with APD is to go from policing zones to district policing. And so district policing, there will be a major that's responsible for the public safety in this district, right? And so they will have direct contact with citizens in the district. And so the citizens in the district will be able to go to the major and say, listen, and what I'm going to push for is let's be as transparent with the officers that we currently have and the ones that we're hiring. How many officers currently do we have that have more than 2 occurrences of excessive force? How many do we have? That should be public knowledge, right? For officers that we're hiring and officers that are current that on the force. How many occurrences of excessive force do you have? How many write-ups have you had? This needs to be made public knowledge So once this becomes public knowledge, you have transparency, right? The next thing is when you have district police and you have police who can be specifically assigned to the district so they can meet people in the district. They need to get out of the cars after taking a public relations courses, I should say, because we give people a badge and we think that they're automatically just experts at public relations, and that's just not the case, right? So when you take a public relations course, then you go speak with the public, interact with the public, so that you will be more than just a badge. Secondly, I think that in Atlanta, APD officers, only 18% of them live in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you come to Atlanta, you work, and then you go home. How best are you in the city?
You're not.
Exactly.
You work in Atlanta, but you live in Lawrenceville, or you live
Douglas.
in
I mean, you live outside of the city because, and part of that is because the city is so expensive to live in. Right. So as I say, issues usually connect. Right. And when you have a comprehensive plan really to address a multitude of issues, you can solve one issue and 50% solve another one. If Atlanta was more, if we had affordable housing just for city workers, more of them would live in the city.
That's true.
Right. And then more officers would be vested in the community. Right. I plan on hiring 250 officers from out of the community. That means that people who live in the community, I ask brothers all the time, and not just say I'm going to hire African Americans, but when I talk to African Americans, security guards, I say, listen, would you be part of APD? I give varied answers. How can you have community policing without the community? Mm-hmm. You don't have it, right? You just have people come from out of state, right? So there needs to be people who are community policing, joining APD and policing your community. And so once you have that, then the public will be more responsive and the relationship can start building. But that's what's missing, right? In Atlanta politics, the relationships are missing. The relationship between the mayor and APD has been strained. And that's the best way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. Which administration, the current or the previous, or the prior?
I think,
or both.
I think in a sense, both.
Okay.
Right. For various reasons.
Right.
Both have. The relationship between the mayor and the citizens. I talk to people who don't even know that the current mayor is not even running.
So one of our viewers said that something that they believe is important is that you have a seat at the table for someone in the community.
Yeah.
And that person is not vested one way or the other to make a political decision.
Yeah.
You don't have a person that is like saying, okay, I'm for Atlanta police.
Yeah.
I'm just here as a citizen saying this is how it's going.
Yeah.
And if you have one or two people like that, that will always keep the checks and balances in place. So I definitely think that when you become mayor, that could be something that you look into.
Kind of like, with Austell Community Task Force, that, it's apolitical. So, yeah.
And there needs to be town halls every month in each district. We need to set up a community task force. I agree. That's one thing I want to promote within Atlanta. It's made up of the NPU presidents, chairs. It's made up of Community Watch, right? It's made up of Crime Stoppers. It's made up of APD. And so people who are within the district, because it seems like everything the power is trapped at the mayoral position, right? That the mayor is supposed to know what's going on in District 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 better than the people who live in the district. And that doesn't make any sense. So individuals in the district need to have more power. And I tell people all the time, you have to give power to get power, right? You have to give power to get power. Because when you give power then to individuals and it's exercised correctly, then they'll give you the power. because they're going to give you solutions that you never would have thought of. And that's what goes on right now in Atlanta politics, is that, the people voicing like on multiple issues, from affordable housing, from and when it comes to APD. We just had a vote on the new police training facility in Atlanta. Last night was a hot vote, right? Very contested. It was contested because, in my view, the transparency wasn't there fully from start to finish, right? If you're talking about doing a new police facility, right, this needs to be a 6 months, a 6-month ordeal where the police, a foundation, Chief Wright, people who are for it, explain it to the citizens and give them all of the information, while knowing that some people are just going to be against it. Right. But if you give them all the information, you have town halls, right? You have the council members, right? They have town halls. They have just like what we're doing here. They have open sessions with people in their districts to answer the questions, to get the feedback.
Right.
Then people can say, well, at least I knew about it. I know about it. I may not agree with it all. Right. But at least I'm informed.
Well, community engagement, that's always going to be an issue, because you have some people that you have a certain section of the population that they're just not going to be engaged until potentially it's time to vote. So I think that's always going to be a hurdle that you have to jump, is to get people engaged and get people interested in finding out more about what's going on outside their front door. So that I don't know if anyone has a silver bullet for that, but that's just always going to be an issue.
I think that the council members have a lot of power, like especially within the district and the post at large, right? Why not just do a monthly town hall? If you do a monthly town hall, of course, the first 5 of them, nobody may come, right? But once people know, and it becomes a habit of, okay, they said that Street A needs to be paved, right? And then they see that 2-3 town halls happen. Month 5, the street's paved, because people talk, right? They're going to talk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're actually listening to me now. Okay, well, I'll go if the people are listening to me. Right. Then, okay, we're going to have this particular corner is a dangerous corner, right? Is crime happening here? After 6 or 7 months, this corner isn't as dangerous.
Yeah.
So when people see things change, right, that are being brought up in the town halls, then more people will come.
Right.
But you kids can't get frustrated about, when we had 7 town halls, 7 people showed up. Right. Those 7 people can make their voices heard, and when results happen, people will get to say, oh man, they listen to Miss Brenda. No, they listen to Mr. John.
Right.
And so people will be more apt to come. But we just can't say, well, and that's it's definitely a valid point. But I think that when you look at it in a way of, let's start it, all right, let's start it, and it'll grow, it'll cultivate once people see results.
Okay.
Right.
Wonderful conversation. Wonderful conversation going on. We got 5 minutes, so go ahead.
Got time for one more?
We got 5 minutes, so we got time for one more or 2 more. Let's go ahead. Hit them with the hard one.
Rapid fire. The pandemic cost a lot of people their jobs and businesses. So what would be your plan to get people back working and spurring more entrepreneurship at this stage of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think that, again, I have a program called 100 for 100, and that is identifying 100 small businesses, minority, particular African American, and getting them $100 million in funding.
Oh shoot!
So they can grow. And that's
in total. I don't think it's just one. Just one. Because the way she thought about it, you said 100 million. I think that's in total for all the African American companies.
Not giving
that's a one.
Not giving one business.
My legislature is the right way to ballot. And I want to vote for you.
Listen, it's not 100 million for one business. It's 100 million for 100 businesses. Yes. But but that type of investment in businesses will keep them going, keep them open, and it's more about really just building. And that's something that, again, people could get excited about, is that, the government, that their mayor believes in them. And that will show, a tremendous amount of support for minority businesses. Because like you said, they've been hard hit through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have.
More than African American, probably more than any other business, because we're undercapitalized.
Mm-hmm. I guess we just have to figure out how to make them come back to work.
Yeah, that coming back to work, I think, is the federal unemployment is gone now.
It's all gone.
It
ended, right?
What was it, Monday?
Yep.
Oh, it
on
did?
Labor Day. Ooh,
Yep.
that's cold blood.
Oh, it did.
That's cold blood.
But they said, Georgia stopped theirs back in April.
Yeah, Georgia stopped theirs back. I think it was
April.
June. I think
April, May.
The federal?
Yes,
Oh,
the extra 300.
It was two of them,
state.
right? It's the state
The
and
state.
I think
the state. Oh, okay, the federal. Okay, got
so it's two of them, right? It's the
Yes,
federal
state
piece
federal.
and the state piece. So both have ended now. So people are going to have more incentive of going back to work because you're not getting any money sitting at home. I think we have to realistically look at what motivates people to come to work. And I say that it's a difference between, as we all know, a job and a career.
Right.
Right. I've quit many jobs, haven't quit career.
Right.
And a career usually comes with compensation.
Yeah.
Right. I give you an example. When I worked at Kroger, right?
Right.
It didn't matter how many people I rung up.
Right.
I could
You
have
was
rung up
gonna get the
5
same
people.
$7.25 an hour.
$7.25 an hour. Whether I rung up $5,000 or whether I rung up $5.
Right.
So what did Richard Wright used to do? Richard, I used to walk the house. I used to walk the house, take extra bathroom breaks and all that. All right. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Right. Compensation is when you come to an individual and say, listen, what's the bonus structure like? Richard, I tell you what, if we'll give you 1% of what you rang up, I would have never left the register.
Right, you've been there.
I would have been ringing everybody. They got the best customer service in the history of their lives.
Excuse me, you want to come over here?
I've been in the aisle getting people. Man, to come to aisle 6 when you get done. They gave me 2% of 5,000.
You've been there selling extra peanut butter. You
You
can
know,
make an extra sandwich. Come on,
go and get that. Go ahead, get that.
Come on.
Go ahead, get that. Go ahead, get the shrimps.
Right.
You want them shrimps?
Wonderful people. Wonderful people.
Tell your mom you want them shrimps.
So we have had, it's coming about that time. So we've had
I thought we was gonna go all night.
wonderful show tonight. I want to thank our guests for coming in. I want to thank Dante for being our sit-in extra panelist, for Jeffrey being out. Jeffrey, get well soon.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful show. Before we go, we're going to let Mr. Wright give out his information. You need to go to his website. I'm going to put it on the screen also, but you need to go to his website and check him out. He has a lot of good things on there. If you didn't hear anything on this show, check him out. I know he gives out information. He's in the community in Atlanta. So if you are in the Atlanta area, check him out. He's over there helping people, feeding the homeless, basically just in the community, talking to people. I know he said that plenty of times before. So outgoing, Mr. Wright, what would you like to say to the community, say to everybody out there? Because it's going to replayed all week. So go ahead and talk to the people and tell them a little bit about your plans. Give me your information and just go outro.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you, the 3 Clarks, for having me.
2 Clarks.
Excuse me, 2 Clarks.
Show is still always 3 Clarks.
Philly and Jeffrey. Philly and Jeffrey.
And Dante.
With 2 Clarks and a Dante.
There you go.
Yeah, with 2 Clarks and a Dante.
Yes.
I thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Great questions. I'm a passionate person about helping people and helping the city of Atlanta. I think that at this point in the city of Atlanta, I have the perfect skill set to move the city forward. One who can look at a budget and really analyze a budget, how to spend taxpayer dollars correctly, and one who cares about solving crime, but solving systemic poverty as well. And so I plan on doing both as mayor. I don't make outlandish promises. This is going to be a heavy lift, right? Because this is systemic, but working together, everyone from Buckhead to Bankhead, we can make Atlanta the envy of all cities in the country. I said that at the debate, and I truly mean it. That's my goal, is to make Atlanta the envy of all other cities in the United States of America, and we can do that. And so, please go to my website. It's www.wright, WRIGHT, FORATL.com.
On the bottom of your screen now.
Yep, the www.wright, WRIGHT, FORATL.com. Please go there and look at the site, volunteer, donate, and just really analyze me as a candidate, because I'm not asking for your vote just because I'm Black or just because you know me, but I want to earn every single vote. And when I get in office, I'm going to keep earning that vote.
Wonderful.
We're going to hold you to it if you get in office. Or when you get in office,
once again, this has been another informative and great show for the Three Clarks podcast. And as always, I have been Dwayne.
And I am still Shantae.
And I'm trying to be Dante.
And we are the Three Clarks, and we appreciate y'all tuning in. So catch y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Later, everybody. Catch y'all later.